Hello and thank you for all the views on recent videos, in the short videos and in the long format videos too. Thank you for sharing all your musical journeys with me. Uh, that's what all this channel is about. Today we've gone through all the studio albums of the 1980s pressings of the Beatles. Today is Beatles Tuesday, and today we're going to rank them. and I'm going to start off with Sergeant Pepper as the number 10. The reason why I have it on number 10 is I have two Panasonic systems. I have a 4K player and a CD player, 40 watt standalone CD player. And I put this in the 40 watt and it didn't sound that good. It sounded really, really thin on the ground. I then put it into the 4K player. Wow, was I in for a shock. It sounded absolutely fantastic in the 4K player. So if you have a kind of a standalone CD player, one of the boom boxes and stuff like that, and you have this and it doesn't sound good, but if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation, stick this into the Xbox or the PlayStation. You might be in for a bit of a surprise if you find it sounds a little bit thin on the ground on your normal standard CD player. Put it in. That's why this is at number 10. Not because of the album, but how it sounds on different uh, players. It's not necessarily, the volume is not necessarily consistent, shall we say. So that's why I have this one at number 10. Up next, and the rest are just kind of, I know it's a top 10, but you can swap them around any way you like. And I don't have Let It Be here. I don't have Abbey Road here, spoiler alert. I'm kind of focusing on the albums that are in the mono box set, even though this is not the mono box set. And I think that's a perfect top 10 that writes itself. And possibly why I don't like Abbey Road or Let It Be. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with them. And I feel Beatles were kings of mono, and the albums that are in the mono box set speak to me much better than when they kind of went full on stereo. So that's possibly one of the reasons why. Up next is Help, and this is their kind of formula. Very similar to the Elvis soundtrack. The early formula is very similar to an Elvis soundtrack called Loving You, where it was kind of half soundtrack and half not a soundtrack. And this is kind of sort of like that, and their early albums are like that as well. So this is a great album, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's 100%. And what's kind of interesting is this is Help, and they kind of had originals and covers, and then that was their second movie, and then their first movie, which is this one, we're on number 7 now, is this is where they wrote all their original songs for the first time. So that's really cool. So this is a kind of a black and white movie, and this is a color movie. So that's really cool. Up next, they kind of had black and white movie, color movie, and an animation movie, all in 3 movies. So we have, and my favorite movie is the Yellow Submarine movie. So we have Sergeant Pepper, we have Help, we have It's a Hard Day's Night, then we have With Beatles at number 7, 6. And that's just a fairly cool album. I really enjoy this. I really enjoy the early Beatles a little bit more than I enjoy the latter day Beatles, but I kind of just enjoy them all. You're kind of just spoiled for choice. So as I said, you can swap any of these around, and you'll still have a kind of a good selection to choose from. And so it's With the Beatles. It's their second album, and I think in America it's called Meet the Beatles on the Capitol label, and a great selection of songs, and it's in mono, and so is this one as well. And I love the Beatles in mono, and I'm going to be getting a new sound system. I'm not sure what to get in towards autumn. I might get a Cambridge sound system, might get then an amp for the 4K player, put that into it. or in Marantz, I'm still kind of shopping around looking at what is available. So if you have any suggestions as to what kind of system I should get, if a little bit, I might have a bit of a budget, so I'll get that to improve the listening experience. But I love this, it's in mono, and I know there's amps that can put stuff in mono and all that sort of stuff, so you can have a stereo CD and then change it in mono, but it's nice to have the mono pressing, and this is a good mono pressing to have. Up next is their debut album. We're at we're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and it's just a place to put it, really. And it's a very, very good album. It's an excellent debut album, again in mono, and I love hearing the Beatles in mono, and this is just a great example of how to do things in mono. And as I said, they were kings of mono, masters of mono, and that's how they started and stuck it out for 10 albums, and then times changed and they went into the stereo. So them trying out stereo kind of even though a lot of these will be in stereo. Up next we have Magical Mystery Tour at number 5. If the Sgt. Pepper album was a bit more consistent with how this sounded, things would be swapped around. But I think this is a good second for Sgt. Pepper. This is a fantastic album, and originally an EP, and then they just patched things together, and they made up a fantastic album. So this is a great album to get into. Shame about the documentary that went with it, but fantastic soundtrack. Kind of great soundtrack, bad movie. That's the way that goes. Up next is, and I love the early Beatles, and this is the Rushed album. And if you want to understand how the Beatles got their name, go to their early albums, and then you find out why they were called the Beatles. A lot of fans kind of go from Rubber Soul upwards, and they're missing out a whole load of music. So they're a rockabilly band, took LSD, and then they kind of discovered how to do psychedelic stuff, and this is kind of their rockabilly roots. And I love songs on it like Kansas City, 8 Days a Week, Honey Don't, and other songs on other albums like Matchbox and stuff like that. That's all magic stuff, so give that a listen. Up next we have number 3, and it's Rubber Soul. And Rubber Soul is fantastic. And again, in this album, they even show their rockabilly roots with Run For Your Life. John Lennon trying to do his Elvis in this album. So in this song, with the first line lifted off an early Elvis song. So check that stuff out as well. Rubber Soul, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 10, 1,000 out of 1,000. And I really think, as George Harrison said, Revolver and Rubber Soul maybe could be easily a kind of unofficial double album. So you can have Rubber Soul, you can have Revolver, you can have Revolver and Rubber Soul. So there you go, take your pick. So we have number 3, number 3, number 2, number 2. And then my favourite Beatles album is the White Album. And I think this is just absolutely fantastic. Don't think there's any fillers in it. I love number 9. I can sing along with it. Number 9, number 9, number 9. We can do a sing along if you want to. But there's so many tracks to choose from. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, we're Obla-dee, Obla-da, Glass Onion, Dear Prudence, what else is on this? Revolution, Number 9 as stated, and Rocky Raccoon, and it just goes on and on. It's a fantastic album, and Good Night Sweetheart is on it as well. So I highly recommend this album, and it sounds great on this version of it as well. So we're going to go through all the 2009 albums in the 2009 Digipacks, and we're going to see what they sound like over the next 13 weeks or so. So we'll have a good summer going through them, and eventually I'll get around to listening to the red and blue albums on the Digipack format as well. So thank you for sticking out with me in this review, in this top 10 ranking of the Beatles. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and do you prefer the albums that are the 10 Beatles albums that are in the mono box set over that includes Let It Be in the Abbey Road? You have the same sort of problems as I do with those two albums. I think John Lennon had the same problems with them as well. So again, let me know in the comments. It's Beatles Tuesday. I'll be doing a Beatles short, and I'm over on TikTok as well if you want to join me there. Thank you ever so much for watching, and we look forward to talking to you again in the next video.